Hey guys, I'm Mandy Mathis. I'm from the 918 area code and I have a YouTube channel. Cleverly titled 9180. It combines my area code with 180, which of course means a complete reversal. And on my YouTube channel, I have another separate ongoing series called Little House of Horrors. It is the documentation of our flip house, but this brand new series, which will temporarily overlap with the other one, is actually going to center around the transformation of the Skiatook Lake home that my husband and I purchased for ourselves. And the monster of a house that you see behind me is what I affectionately refer to as the Carriage House. And we're standing in the backyard right now, so it's a little bit difficult to tell because you're looking at the rear of the home. But the house is actually comprised of two separate structures, and these two structures are connected in the middle by an oversized 5-car garage. And the two structures have a combined total square footage of just over 3,800 square feet. Now, that's significant because for the last 2.5 years, my husband and I have been tiny housers. We have lived with our two dogs, Riley and Miley, in a fifth wheel camper. So going from less than 260 square feet to nearly 4,000 square feet has been quite the adjustment for all of us. We are definitely going from one extreme to the next. But before we took possession of this property, it was actually the old Hanna Homestead. For many, many years, this place was home to Bill Hanna. He owns oil fields nearby, which is pretty neat. And my husband Randy and I had the really rare opportunity of actually getting to meet the seller and his family. Bill's grandson Bo Hanna and Bo's own family actually traveled to Oklahoma to help Bill with the transition of moving out of state to be closer to his family. And leading up to the purchase, Bo was a tremendous help, and he has just continued to be very helpful even after the purchase, which is unheard of, and we so appreciate him. And getting to meet the Hannas was a really special thing because we got to hear a bit of history about the home, a bit of history about the family. It was really fun hearing Bo talk about the memories he had of visiting his pap in Oklahoma while growing up, and just how happy he was that his own son got to experience that. And by the end of it all, I have to say I actually got pretty choked up. I think several of us did, watching Bill pull out of the drive and away from the house that final time. It was just a really heavy moment to witness. You could tell that this place was a part of his soul, that the house had been a part of the family legacy. And it didn't help matters that I had my own sweet Nana standing next to me, tearing up herself and reminding me of just how heartbroken she was when she sold her bed and breakfast and had to drive away from it that final time. And I once heard this saying that when you transplant a tree, a part of the root system gets left behind. And I can't help but think that many, many years from now, long after Randy and I have made this place our home and have started our family and have established our business, that a small piece of the Hanna family root system is going to remain in the soil. And that probably sounds oddly sentimental considering the fact that I honestly barely know these people. But I do like to think that when a place becomes a part of you, a small part of you forever remains in that place. And it just makes me want to be really respectful during this renovation of the fact that this is their old family homestead, especially because they've already told me that they're going to be following the journey on my YouTube channel. But as much as I want to honor the past, I'm definitely looking forward to the future. And Randy and I have to make this place work for us and our needs. And in case you're wondering why we chose to go from a tiny house to a huge house, it's because this property has to serve multiple purposes. It of course has to function as a home, a place where we can raise a family, but it also needs to be able to accommodate the business that we want to start. And for a very long time, Randy made me stay quiet about the nature of the business, but I feel that right now is the perfect time to start drumming up some interest. So I'm gonna go ahead and reveal to you that our intention for this property is to provide Skiatook and the surrounding areas with an intimate wedding venue. We will specialize in boutique weddings and elopements and other small special occasions. In fact, just a couple days ago, over the Labor Day weekend, we actually did a little mock wedding photo shoot here in the backyard. And the reason why we did it so early on in this transformation is because in order for us to advertise for weddings in the summer of 2020, we needed to be able to capture what the property looked like while it's still green, while it is still summertime. So we threw together this little photo shoot. I have a friend who has her own bakery, Cupcakes by Crystal. She made me a darling little wedding cake, and my cousin Chase and his Ashley agreed to model as a bride and groom for me. And my cousins, Kim Cox and Amber Morton, they have really fancy cameras, and they came out, and I think we put together quite the successful little demonstration of what this property could be. And in fact, it was so convincing of a mock wedding that after I posted some photos, my Aunt Lanila started receiving phone calls and text messages wondering why these people hadn't been invited to Chase's wedding. So I'm really excited about how well that turned out. And as much as the home's design really works for our needs, there are still many changes that have to be made before we can start hosting real events. And on the day that I met Bill Hanna, he told me that his plan had always been to live out his days in this home. And if you've been following our story, then you know our plan had always been to build our dream home on our property near Keystone Lake. And Proverbs 19:21 says, "You can make many plans, but God's purpose will prevail." And I choose to believe that in this season of Bill's life, God's purpose for him is to be closer to his family, and that for whatever reason, in this chapter of our lives, God wants Randy and I to become members of the Skiatook Lake community instead of the Keystone Lake community. And I couldn't be more excited. I have such a vision for this place. I cannot wait to see it become a reality, and I hope you will join us on this brand new adventure. I hope you will learn with us and grow with us and root for us as we take this giant leap of faith.